These days I am seeing more and more people talking about coercive limits and calling it loving limits. And on every post that is about child liberation, people always go, children need boundaries because they don't know what's good for them and you got to give them boundaries. And it exhausts me because honestly, I've been sharing this message of non-coercive collaborative parenting for, it's close to 30 years now because my kid's 27. And still people have it in their heads that the only way to guide kids is through power, domination, and violence. And I know they wouldn't call it those things. That's why they call it loving limits. But what's actually happening in the human relationship is power, domination, and violence. Power because we have more power over our kids. We have more power than them, and we have power over them. Domination because we're controlling them. We're imposing our will on them. We're imposing our values on them. And we're not allowing them the freedom of their autonomy and consent. And the violence, because violence is the only way that we can stop someone from doing what they want to do and force someone to do something that they don't want to do if they resist. Now, of course, if the kid goes along with it and they're happy and it's all beautiful, that's fine. But most of the time when people talk about limits, that's not what's happening. It's not collaborative. It's not discussed with the kid. It's not taking their views into account. It's top down from the parent to the child, and the child has to listen. And when this happens, it destroys relationships. It destroys the relationship the child has with the parent. Maybe not destroys, damages. Damages the relationship they have with themselves. Damages the relationship they have with the thing in question, whether it's screens or food or sleep or chores or whatever it is. And in all of these cases, we're not lifting kids up. We're not empowering them. We're not educating them. We're not helping them learn about themselves. Since self-knowledge, honestly, relationship with self and self-knowledge is one of the most important and powerful qualities and skills that we can give our kids. One of the most important things in how to navigate the world is self-knowledge. And we deny them that every time we impose our will on them. Plus, the other problem with it is, of course, we're modeling a use of power without integrity. And then our kids go out into the world and they think that's normal. And you can look at all the oppressive systems in the world and how many people justify them and how many people submit to them and how many people say it's just normal, that's just the world. But it doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be. There is a large community of people that say, wait a minute, it doesn't have to be. We can find ways of working together. We can find ways of living together that don't require power, violence, and domination. That we can have true communities where everyone is valued and cared for, uplifted, and empowered. And it's possible to do that. I know it's possible. I based my whole life on the fact that it's possible. Does it seem like a distant, far-off possibility? Yes. Am I idealistic for believing so? Yes. But that idealism is what fuels me every day. And I hope you'll join me in that idealism and shift your thinking around how we treat kids so that instead of domination, power, and violence, we use communication, connection, and collaboration. And those things are so much more empowering and so much more, connecting, to be redundant, and they're more empowering for us. It restores our humanity. Because so much of our humanity was stolen from us, from our own upbringing, and from the domination systems that we had to interact with. But we don't have to do that to our kids. We can create a better world for them, inner world and the actual world that they have to exist in. So I hope that makes sense to everybody. I really appreciate you listening to this, and I hope you'll get on board, because it's a radical thing, right? It's a radical thing not to control our kids. But it's radical in a way that I think the world really needs. Please follow me on all the spaces at Meaningful Ideas on Facebook and YouTube and Instagram and Twitter and TikTok. And meaningfulideas.com is my website where you can find my free course, Guiding Without Controlling, which is a wonderful 40-minute video full of really practical and helpful information. And that's it, everybody. Peace out.